We get to the bottom of some of the major issues that are facing the city of San Antonio during our KSAT Q&A, and today is no different. We're joined by Mayor Ron Nirenberg to talk, among other things, about what is happening with this 2.2-mile stretch of Broadway that the state gave to the city, and now the state's apparently taking it back. Am I describing that right, Mr. Mayor?
As absurd as that sounds, that appears to be what is being attempted by the state. So after about a decade of planning and collaboration with the state, in which we voluntarily took over Broadway, and we had subsequent planning and development activities in a 2017 bond vote where the public supported a redevelopment of that stretch by over 70%. Now that planning has been underway, community development meetings, thousands of hours, man hours, and hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent by the public and private sector on this stretch. The state is going to vote, at least it's on the agenda to vote, to rescind the order that started this whole process 6 years ago. So it's really quite mind-boggling what's going on. No one can seem to explain it. And so we're asking for them not to vote, and let's talk. What are they trying to accomplish? Why have we been collaborating for the last 6 years and spending money and time on this project, and all of a sudden they want to totally reverse it?
The state is supposed to meet tomorrow morning to talk about this. So do you feel like there is any room for discussion? I mean, do you have any indication that that request to have a conversation is actually being heard?
Well, I mean, everyone who needs to be contacted has been contacted. There haven't been many answers that I'm aware of, not many calls returned to the engineers and other folks involved in the project, but there is a meeting taking place. We're going to go state our case again. And really the call is to let's come back to the table. If there's something that it has changed with regard to the state's position on what we're doing, and have been doing for the last 7 years, and the public has supported through votes and lots of expenditures, let's sit down and talk. But the most absurd thing to happen would be to reverse that vote.
If the state does take over, does that mean all the plans that the city has, including the bond money they were going to put in to Broadway, just stops?
Effectively, yes. And that's why it's so absurd to even discuss it in this way. Again, there has been thousands of hours, hundreds of meetings, hundreds of millions of dollars spent, public sector, private sector investment, a bond vote by the public in 2017 by roughly 70% to approve this project. We've been doing collaboratively with TxDOT ever since. And now all of a sudden on this agenda is a vote to rescind the order that started it way back in 2014. So it's really a head scratcher, and we're calling for some conversation. We're asking why now, what's going on, and we really need those responded to if we're going to come to any sort of conclusion. But yes, effectively, it would terminate everything that's been going on for a long time there on Broadway.
Any thoughts that this has to do with the governor of Texas, that this is Greg Abbott getting revenge against San Antonio and Bexar County for being a thorn in his side during some of these COVID issues?
Well, we've had disagreements, but remember, throughout COVID, we all have had the singular goal of saving lives. At least we should. There's no answers with the lack of any information and answers on the questions that we're asking about TxDOT. There's a lot of speculation, but I would think that if there is a single nonpartisan issue that we can all agree on in the state of Texas, it would be our roadways. And so we've agreed to take on that roadway redevelopment. We've got redevelop it. We've spent our own money. We've got our public supporting the project. So let's move it forward. Let's sit down and talk. But without any answers, there's a lot of speculation.
We'll see what happens in that meeting tomorrow. But let's turn now to COVID for a moment. We talked earlier in this show about how the city was discussing how to use the millions of dollars from the American Rescue Plan Act. So where are we in terms of our recovery here locally? And what do you think the biggest needs are that still exist?
Well, the impacts economically and on a human scale in San Antonio and throughout this world have been severe, and they've been ongoing. So we are going to be working on continuing some of the immediate relief, housing, health. We have a huge portion of the recovery funds earmarked for ongoing COVID health impacts and testing activities, vaccination activities, et cetera. But when we get into recovery, and what these dollars are really meant to do is to help our economy rebound. And so we are discussing things like small business relief. We're also working on restoration of some infrastructure dollars. All of this process is playing out and will over the next few weeks. And really, this is 5-year funds that have been made available by the federal government. And we're going to be working with the public, which has already given us tremendous input through community town halls, et cetera. So San Antonio, just like every city in the country, has had its economic impacts. They've been prolonged through different waves. And Omicron, of course, has been disappointing in that it's continued some of those impacts. But we'll get through it. And the council is engaged right now in a process to best allocate those resources, given the limitless needs that we have, but limited funds to accomplish what we need to.
The final question for you. Are you getting any indication from health officials that you've been dealing with and some of the graphs that you've looked at that we're starting to plateau when it comes to this latest surge?
Our wave started a little bit later than, the coastal communities. And so what we have seen over the last several days now is kind of a slowdown in the growth of cases as well as the growth of hospital cases. And today we saw a graph of just how much we've been impacted, how many cases, the total volume of cases of Omicron over the last few weeks of this wave. It's been astounding. Many times what we were seeing even in the previous waves, just a lot of COVID out there. The good news is that the wave of hospital cases has begun to plateau and is actually not anywhere near where the proportion of cases were in previous waves. So what is true is this: if we want to protect ourselves against Omicron and get through this wave, we need to continue to get folks vaccinated. Thankfully, over 73% of our community has done that. And that's why we've seen, despite the fact there's a lot of cases out there and a lot of infections, the severity of those are much lower in terms of overall cases in the hospital in proportion. So that's good news. I think we're beginning to plateau, and hopefully we'll get through this very quickly.
San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg, appreciate your time.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.
You too.
We'll be right back.